Why shouldn't that group be, why shouldn't they be in existence?
Well,
Someone's got to handle that money.
Well, it should be part of a mass highway, mass transportation should be one system. They're saying they don't need one group just to handle one sections of roads in the Commonwealth when if you streamline it and do it as a whole entity, because this is a statewide problem, which is what the problem is with this legislation. It pits one neighborhood against another neighborhood because the people north and south don't pay anything. The people, north on 93 and south on 93 in the South Shore, they pay nothing to go to Boston. Yet the people who go east and west
it gets really complicated when you're dealing with cities and states and everybody owns. Like we've got a street right now, Needham Street, and it's Newton's it's in Newton, but Boston owns a piece of it, and we've been trying to cut back on traffic and renovate it, but Boston, for some reason, there's been delaying and delaying and delaying, and this goes into Needham, and it gets really overly complicated when it should be one entity taking care of it, and that's the end of it. But
that's how business normally is run.
Well, that's how they become so bureaucratic and so stretched. I mean, someone's got to go in there and reform the whole thing. I mean, it's getting ridiculous.
We agree with you, and hopefully our legislators are going to do something, because if not, we're going to be sending up people who are going to run against them in 2010.
I wouldn't count on it.
Well, we also have our second option also is to when we gather all these people, we have 10,000, we're hoping to bring 100,000 together by August, and we're going to put together a ballot initiative to either roll back whatever turnpike increases they do. We know that there's limitations in being able to close the Pike because they're into all these bond deals. But
so you have a plan in case it goes through.
Oh, sure.
Oh, that's great.
We're not going to quit.
We're not good.
We're going to stick this fight
Now, what
out.
about the gas tax? The gas tax has had an evolution too, right?
Yeah.
Let's talk about that for a second.
The gas. Alan, would you like to
do you know anything about the gas tax?
Well, I'm against the gas tax. You want me to talk about it?
Well,
I think it's
Representative David Linsky, right? He
from Framingham,
Natick. He introduced this gas tax about a month, 6 weeks ago at 6 cents, and at 11 cents, he said at the public hearing, we'd get rid of all the tolls. Last week he came out, that number has jumped up to 29 cents, and we have yet to even go to committee with it. So we're concerned that this 29-cent increase is going to turn into a 45-cent increase. And everyone needs more money. The government is constantly saying, we need more money. But you know what? We all need more money.
Right.
But we all live within our means.
Right. We all try to anyway.
Exactly. And it's about time that these people start to try to live within their means and say, you know what? Maybe we can't pay our cashiers at the toll booths $45 an hour.
Well, to Val Patrick's credit, he got rid of those people, right?
No.
I mean, he got rid of a group of those people.
No, that was the flaggers you're talking about.
No, but he got rid of toll booth.
You're right. There was a group of, I think, 20 that voluntarily left because their pensions are now up.
I didn't know that.
It wasn't as if
I thought he got rid of them to cut back. That's what I thought.
No.
That's what they wanted you to think.
Right, that's how they spun
that's
it.
Where they,
but these people are all now collecting. They were older, and they're collecting their pensions, and they voluntarily left.
Okay.
They were not,
So we're paying them for not going to work. So.
Well, that's good.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, that's a problem everywhere. That those pensions and the health care benefits are ridiculous. They going to kill lots of cities and towns, and the state too. They got to reform that too.
Well, that's one of the things they talk about. They have to do municipal reform and go, especially, if you're in Boston or Newton. I mean, they're big enough cities where they can sustain themselves and sustain a fire department and all that. But you go to some of these outlying areas in the suburbs, and you should streamline instead of having one fire department paying for each town. Maybe you do it as a county.
They have that here. They have that here. Like Needham will come to Newton if Newton is.
Right, but I'm saying they actually are run as one entity at being this one
It's
county.
an interesting idea.
So I mean, that's what then it streamlines the system. But that's not what I'm not an expert on that. But that's one of the things.
I've heard that idea. It's interesting. So Al, what do you think about the gas tax?
You've already asked me that question.
Okay, well, I thought you could elaborate on that question. What about? So how did you get involved? How did you hear about these guys?
Well, I listen to Michelle McPhee every night. First, I heard Michael was interviewed by Michelle back in late November. And then I saw Spencer at the rally at the Echo Restaurant in East Boston.
And actually, Alan came out to the rally that we had on the 15th at the State House when we were protesting the governor's State of the State address. And if you'd like to, you can talk about how that event went.
Well, that was in 16-degree weather. And there'd be 40 real hardy
Did you have your
troopers.
parka on?
Well, I looked like a Hamas operative with my hooded top.
We thank you for coming out in the cold.
You're very welcome, Michael.
But unfortunately, that's why I think I want to look through the history. Once this all calms down, I actually get some free time back. I'd love to look at the history of any types of toll increases or other types of little irks to the general public and see how many of them actually are proposed and have the public hearing process during the winter time in New England.
Oh, that'd be interesting.
Because I bet you it's over 70%. They seem to have the machine running, and that's when they say, because this was talked about months and months ago in the summertime that they needed to do these things.
It was actually scheduled for September 29th, the vote. And had they voted on the 29th, then all of our legislators really would have had their backs against the walls
because before the election.
Right. Now they would have had to do something. But instead they postponed
They would have had to
the
commit
vote.
to something right before the election.
Yeah. So now
Position.
God forbid.
Yeah,
And
God forbid, right.
they postponed the vote
Until November 14th.
And now we have to wait 2 years. And, we keep hearing from our elected officials, oh, we're going to take care. Trust us. Trust us. Well, the back of the dollar bill says, in God we trust. It does not say in government we trust. And we do not trust, unfortunately, our elected officials.
When they actually act, then you can trust.
Sure.
Until then.
I'd love to see that.
Right.
Yeah, until then, you have to challenge them. You have to keep them going.
Well, now is the time for action. The ball's in their court. If they don't do anything.
So the next meeting is February?
Yeah, I haven't seen the date yet
They
because they
haven't
just had
scheduled
today.
the date.
They haven't scheduled a date.
But we'll get that to you.